Based on a true story, the 1976 production of Sybil chronicles the life of a woman who is affected by dissociative identity disorder, commonly known as multiple personality disorder. Sybil, a young woman who lives in New York, works as a substitute teacher and harbors the hope of someday becoming an art professor. She suffers frequent dissociative episodes but keeps her condition a secret from others. However, after experiencing a dissociative episode in front of her students, Sybil goes to see Dr. Cornelia Wilbur for a neurological examination. Dr. Wilbur discovers Sybil's condition and becomes interested in uncovering Sybil's childhood in order to help her. The movie deals with the discovery of over a dozen different personalities and the traumatic events in Sybil's childhood that led to the development of her disorder. The movie's depiction of dissociative identity disorder is fairly accurate. One of the major symptoms of dissociative identity disorder, according to the DSM-5, is the presence of two or more personality states accompanied by related alterations in affect, behavior, consciousness, memory, perception, cognition, and/or sensory motor functioning. In the movie, Sybil exhibits a number of different personality states. These personalities include Vicky, a sophisticated, French-speaking 12-year-old girl who acts as Sybil's friend and cares for her. Peggy, a resentful, aggressive 9-year-old girl who represents the rage that Sybil feels towards her abusive mother and expresses her anger by breaking glass and having emotional outbursts. Marcia, a girl who is preoccupied with thoughts of death and suicide and encourages Sybil to kill herself, and others.
Fifth Avenue.
Vanessa, what's the matter, sweetie?
I'm not Vanessa.
Oh, I'm sorry, Peggy, but you popped out so fast. What's the matter, sweetie?
It was my idea and she stole it. I wanted to sing Easter Bonnet really, really bad.
You can sing Easter Bonnet.
In addition, Sybil frequently experiences amnesia, which is defined as recurrent gaps in the recall of everyday events, important personal information, and/or traumatic events that are inconsistent with ordinary forgetting, and listed by the DSM-5 as another symptom of dissociative identity disorder. During her first visit to Dr. Wilbur's office, Sybil becomes dissociated and becomes unaware of how much time she has spent in the office. She also doesn't remember her past actions, like doing her eye examination and discussing certain things with Dr. Wilbur. When Dr. Wilbur probes her for more details about her condition, she admits that she has always been like this, and that she once woke up and was 2 years older.
I'm so awfully ashamed, Doctor.
It's all right.
I've always been like this. Always. And I used to think that everybody was like this. That they would just naturally wake up and be someplace else or a whole lot older or wearing another dress. Once I woke up and I was 2 years older.
Sybil's symptoms cause her to have clinically significant distress in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning, another indication of dissociative identity disorder. Due to her abnormal behavior, she loses her job as a substitute teacher. She also has no apparent friends and very little social interaction, and is unable to sustain a romantic relationship with the guy she meets named Richard. Some psychologists believe that dissociative identity disorder arises from a need to cope with terrible childhood events. Sybil's behavior is consistent with this theory. Through the use of hypnosis, Dr. Wilbur discovers that Sybil's mother did a number of terrible things to her, such as locking her in the wheat bin in the barn and giving her enemas with icy water. These traumatic childhood events caused Sybil to develop several alternate personalities to cope with the pain she experienced. Overall, the symptoms shown by Sybil in the movie match the symptoms given by the American Psychiatric Association for dissociative identity disorder. Sybil's background also supports the generally accepted belief that dissociative identity disorder represents a psychological defense against trauma and severe childhood abuse. Therefore, the 1976 version of Sybil provides a fairly accurate depiction of dissociative identity disorder.